Well, what it means in clear parlance is that Nnamdi Kanu was discharged today. That means he's a free man, and he should be allowed to go home tomorrow. By the time we get a certified true copy of the judgment, we'll serve it on the office of the Attorney General and the DSS to allow Nnamdi Kanu go. Let my people go. That is how it is put in the Bible.
But Chief Ezekume, we've heard from the federal government right now.
Was not allowing that, there was a problem. Yeah.
We just had the update from the federal government saying that it's just, on a single issue bordering on rendition, and they are looking at taking other legal options, afforded to the government.
The single issue bordering on extraordinary rendition, after he was brutally captured, tortured in Kenya, blindfolded, and extrajudicially rendered back to Nigeria, is what determined it. We put all the facts before the court. The federal government had no answer to any of the allegations. And in law, when we make certain factual allegations and they are not denied, they are deemed admitted. So if the federal government wants to pursue trifles against a citizen by appealing against such a well-rendered judgment, I can only wish them good luck. But let me also tell the federal government, if they appeal, I'm going to file a cross appeal against two of the issues which I do not agree with the Court of Appeal on. That is the issue of the status of the place of commission of an offense. Section 45 of the Federal High Court Act and decisions of the Supreme Court make it clear that you can only try a person in a place where you disclose the venue of the commission of the crime, the time, the circumstances. But when you say Nnamdi made a broadcast, from where did he make the broadcast? Is it in the spirit world? Is it in the land of the dead? The Court of Appeal, with all respect, appeared to have glossed over that something by saying, oh, it didn't matter since the charge, the counts did not deceive him. That is not the issue. Supreme Court, look, the Lebanese case that was tried, we all watched it, was it last year? They were accused of having catch of farms in Kano, but they were tried in Abuja. And the Supreme Court quashed the entire judgment because it is the venue of the commission of a crime that you should try the person. And now the Kanu, you say he made a broadcast. You have not told us where he made this broadcast from. The other one, the Court of Appeal also agreed with us, where they said he brought in a transmitter at Obulu Suzo in Ihiala local government area of Anambra State, which is outside the jurisdiction of the Federal High Court of Abuja. They also agree with us. But all in all, the issue was jurisdictional. And that is that under the Extradition Act, particularly Section 15, and under international conventions, OAU, United Nations, you cannot extrajudicially render a person by brute force, by force of arms, from one country to another. There must be a warrant of arrest, which must accompany a written document to the host country that we want this person back. They did not do that. They just forced him back. And the doctrine of specialty is that even when you bring such a person back, you can only try him for the offense that you are bringing him back for. But they still subjected Nnamdi Kanu to the first initial 5-count charge, which they later amended to 7 counts. Then they later amended again to 15 counts. Let me tell you, the federal government has amended the counts against Nnamdi Kanu 7 whole times. And at the Federal High Court, I was able to get 8 of the 15 counts dismissed. It was the remaining 7 that the lower court held on to that were today dismissed by the Court of Appeal. The all remaining 7 counts were set aside, and then Nnamdi Kanu was set free, discharged by the Court of Appeal. The Supreme Court has said such a discharge amounts to discharge and acquittal. If they want to appeal against a mere citizen, when I feel the federal government should see this as a good reception, as a matter that is good for the whole country, to bring about normalcy, peace to the southeast, peace to Nigeria, and then you still want to appeal, then my take on it is that it will amount to persecution and no longer prosecution. In any event, Why should the federal government, through the DSS, that arrested this man, they are keeping him, they investigated him, they are prosecuting him, they are Lord and Master, the accuser, the prosecutor, the judge. And that cannot be a fair trial or a fair hearing. So what the Court of Appeal did today is what the federal government should have quickly done even before the Court of Appeal intervention. When I wrote, Mr. President, last week, 38-page letter with 3-page executive summary, begging genuflectingly, Mr. President, to kindly release Nnamdi Kanu in accordance with the July 20, 2022 decision ruling by the United Nations Working Group on Human Rights, where they say Nnamdi Kanu was extrajudicially rendered to Nigeria and that he was tortured and that the federal government should release him immediately and also pay him compensation.
Chief Ozekeme, I believe that, you know, considering all that you've said and seeing as the position of the federal government as well, this might be a matter that still will continue, you know, in the courts. But I think we should leave it there. We'd like to thank you, appreciate your time. I wish we had more time.
Tomorrow, it does not stop Nnamdi Kanu being released. A notice of appeal does not act as a stay of execution, nor does it render a judgment of the lower court invalid. They should release Nnamdi Kanu immediately and let him go. And let peace reign in